We got one sister up in here. My sister Rerod, she always comes through though. Like even she work. I see my girl Mel is up in here as well, too, guys. So shout out to everybody up in the space. Shout out to those that's coming on YouTube as well, guys. A nice podcast slash Twitter space slash whatever you want to call it is going to be Jada and Will Smith marriage. We're going to be talking about Kayla Nicole. For those of you that don't know, Kayla Nicole, like I say, she was the one that was dating the NFL tight end Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey's now dating Taylor Swift, and she people been going back and forth debating this on Twitter and everything else. So Miss Kayla Nicole decided to write a letter. She penned a letter talking about black girls and black women and everything. So we're gonna touch up on that as well too. We're also gonna be talking about black celebrities and interracial dating. Got a couple examples that we want to talk about tonight. Uh, K. Michelle's gonna be one. Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens made headlines the other week when he was talking about how he was dark skinned and black women didn't want to have anything to do with him back in the day. And so we're gonna touch up on all of that tonight. I see Troubles up in the space as well too. Shout out to you guys coming up in here. Make sure y'all go ahead and retweet the space out. Retweet the space out. I see Trouble's already retweeting it out or reposting. I guess there's no more retweet on Twitter. Reposting, whatever the hell it is. So definitely do that. For my people coming to YouTube, guys, make sure you click the notification bell. Click that notification bell because you're not going to get notifications from Twitter. Definitely click the notification bell. Definitely go ahead and subscribe if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel. Share the YouTube channel out tonight. Leave a comment and like it as well too, guys. We're gonna start off with Jada Pinkett Smith. Shout out to Black Majority State up in the space. Nita, I see you coming through. So yeah, we're gonna start off with this is from the New Pittsburgh. Carrier says Jada Pinkett Smith reveals she and Will Smith have been separated for 7 years. Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith have been living completely separate lives since 2016. In a clip from her upcoming NBC primetime special, Jada revealed that she and Will Smith are still legally married but have been separated for 7 years. It was not a divorce on paper, right? Jada responded, but it was a divorce. Jada admitted. The actress went on to add that the couple who married in 1997 chose not to share their relationship status with the public because they were not ready yet. We were still trying to figure out between the two of us how to be in a partnership, she said, in regards to how do we present that to people. We hadn't figured that out, Jada added. Why it fractured? Well, that's a lot of things. But by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both just still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be, she says. Though she considered a legal divorce, Jada admitted that she's never been able to follow through with it. The full primetime special is set to air on Friday, October 13, ahead of Jada's upcoming memoir. So we got us a book coming out, Worthy, which is out on October 17. In the memoir, Jada details her marital status as well as the 2022 Oscar incident where Will slapped Chris Rock after he made a joke about her alopecia. The Worthy author wrote that she thought the incident was a skit until Will got back in his seat after the slap, according to the excerpt of the book obtained by People. It's not until Will yells from his seat back at Chris to keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth, then repeats it, that I perceive the gravity of the situation that no, it had not been a skit. Even so, I'm unclear on the reason why Will is so upset. We have been living separate lives, and where there's a family, not as a husband and wife. But when I hear Will yell, wife in the chaos of the moment, an internal shift of, oh, what? I'm his wife happens instantly, Jada writes. So you mean to tell me that Will slapped the crap out of this dude and he wasn't even living with the wife? They were separated. And all of this is ahead of a memoir coming out. Now Jada has this special coming out tomorrow night on ABC Primetime. And Barbara Walters was known for these ABC Friday night primetime interviews and stuff. But nonetheless, Jada has a book coming out on the 17th, and she just so happens to get this primetime slot coming out on October 13th. I put a poll up in the actual Jumbotron as well, too, guys, on the far right-hand side. And in this poll, it says, let me get to this poll. It says, wrong one. Does Jada Pinkett Smith respect her husband, Will Smith? That's the fourth on the right-hand side, guys. Go ahead and participate in that poll and retweet it out. Trying to figure out with Jada. She's got a book coming out. So this is added publicity coming to that book. It's gonna help it sell. You know, who knows what she's gonna say, the fireworks that's gonna be coming out tomorrow. You can definitely expect prime time to have a high rated show. So yeah, a lot of people will be looking to see exactly what Jada has to say. Then she's got a book dropping. And somebody said that Will has a movie coming out shortly or not. Somebody made an interesting point earlier, and they were saying that they believe that the whole thing with Jada and Will is, is for publicity all the time, and it's to show this functional side of this and that. I don't know. To me, it always seemed like Will actually had more feelings for her than she had for him. We constantly hear about Tupac. Tupac has been dead for 30 years. When Tupac was alive, I didn't know anything about no Jada Pinkett and Will Smith having this great relationship. I didn't know they were supposed to be she was supposed to be in love with him or felt that way. I thought they were just friends that went to school in Baltimore. I thought it was like homeboy, homegirl, and all this other stuff. Since he's been dead, it's been throwing Will up and throwing Tupac's name up in there, or whatever. But then again, there's a lot of women nowadays that was supposedly just friends with Pac, was supposed to be like had this secret love interest in him or connected with him or whatever. So, nonetheless, I'm not exactly sure what Jada's gonna say tomorrow. It seems like she really hasn't really protected Will's. I don't know. If you have a man, I would think most women, if they had a man, they want to kind of put him up there to a certain degree, considering, Will is this megastar, Will was this or that or whatever. And it just seems like I don't know, bit by bit, she's always broken him down. She's always torn him down. Like it seemed like it was almost like she married below her class, like he wasn't good enough for her. Even though Will was a big name, Will was a big star. Will went from being the Fresh Prince of Bel Air to actually having to show the Fresh Prince of Bel Air to actually becoming an actual, international movie star, box office smash, everything else. And that's not to take anything away from Jada. Jada, she had her acting career as well, but it was never on par with Will Smith's career. And it just seems like, I don't know. I don't know. I won't want to say any kind of jealousy, anything like that in there, but most women, they have a man that is a breadwinner, and I'm sure that Will's been the breadwinner. It just seems like, I don't know, like she's soured on this dude, like he wasn't good enough for her or whatever. Will, I don't know why Will wouldn't leave. Outside of him, not wanting to cut that massive check that he's gonna have to cut her for being married to her for damn near 30 years. He gonna have to break some bread. I don't know what this memoir might have. Who knows exactly what's what in the relationship? We always heard the rumors and this and that, and they've always talked about swing and open marriage and all this other kind of stuff as well too. So I really don't know. I don't really know why they just wouldn't go ahead and get a divorce. To be honest, to be perfectly honest, I'm just flabbergasted. Like when you look at Will, he looks like a beaten man. A lot of times, he looks like somebody that's actually been beaten, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's love or it's commitment or whatever it is, he seems to stick around. He seems to be more invested into the actual relationship than her. Then you heard years ago about the relationship she supposedly had with the friend or whatever of Jaden Smith, and it's just crazy. It's just I personally don't understand the whole involvement. I personally don't understand the whole relationship. I don't know. And maybe somebody in this space can explain it to me why they think this is going on, why they still stay together. She was saying that she hadn't got to that point for the divorce, but you've been separated that long. I'm assuming y'all both living separate lives or whatever. She's saying that, well, hell, we went to the award show. We wasn't even going there as man and wife. We were going there as family. Okay. You are technically, legally still man and wife, but we're not going there as man and wife, but we're going there as family. Even that doesn't make any sense there. I mean, family, if you're man and wife, you are family. So even that what she said to me, it kind of lost me there. So like I say, I can imagine tomorrow night, ABC, it's gonna be a rating bonanza. People gonna be tuning in to see exactly what she's got to say. But then mind you too, Jada ain't gonna say too much because Jada's got a book coming out. She's got a memoir coming out. She wants that book to sell. So she can't put all of this stuff. She's gonna put enough in there that make you want to go out there and buy that book and make it a bestseller, but she's not gonna put every single detail out there in that interview because that would defeat the purpose of dropping her memoir, as she says, which coming out 4 days later. So why would I go ahead and put everything out there in this interview? I'm gonna put enough out there to capture the imagination and the attention and everybody else, you know, get their interest up. So they will go out there and buy the actual book, but I'm not gonna put it all out there because I got a book coming and I'm gonna sell this book. That's the whole point. She's promoting this book here, so she's gonna give enough juicy tidbits just for everybody to go out there and actually snatch the book up. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna catch it. I may watch a few minutes of it. It's Friday tomorrow night. I'm probably gonna. I think Colorado got a football game, maybe at 10 o'clock or something like that. So I'm gonna be actually watching this football game or whatever. But I'm gonna catch a little bit of it. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but I'm gonna catch a little bit of the game. Trouble, I see you came up here. Did you want to add anything, or you just chilling for right now? You got it.
Well, I thought you was gonna. I didn't know if you was gonna keep going with the whole with everything that you have up there, the topics, or.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and touch up on that too. I saw you came up here, but yeah, I'll go ahead and touch up on that because I do want to get to the. I got to get to the Kayla Nicole. Kayla Nicole. One of my curation partners, Black Sports Online. They always, Black Sports Online. They do a lot of entertainment and sports and celebrity type news and stuff as well. So Kayla Nicole, I've seen her last year. I used to see the pictures with her. A lot of thirst traps she used to drop with Travis Kelce and stuff like that. So I seen her. I didn't know that recently that she had actually been on the actual reality show. I guess he chose her from a reality show, which is unusual because most of the time the white cats don't choose black women off these reality shows. So only thing I knew is that he had a black girlfriend. I saw, in the content on Newstoter. Make sure y'all visit newstoter.com daily to stay up to date on black breaking news. But yeah, I saw her, and I just I always saw these little cheesy, not videos but photos they would take and this and that or whatever. So I'm like, okay. Then recently, I guess they must have broke up. Okay, they broke up, and then next thing you know, because I watch football, and I'm saying like the world undamn stop. Like this, the first celebrity in history. You got Taylor Swift going to the football games. It's like I grew up watching the Showtime Lakers. I'm used to seeing big time celebrities at basketball games and sporting events and stuff like that. But it's like Taylor Swift started coming to the Kansas City Chiefs game. And then it's like, the entire, and that's all they talk about. Jesus, I remember Michael Jackson in his prime being at a Lakers game, Muhammad Ali being there. You got Jack Nicholson front side. You got Arsenio. I mean, you got all kind of stars at the Lakers games. But, Taylor Swift started coming to these games, and it's like people lost their mind. Well, then you start having this debate online. Yeah, I saw a lot of white people and I saw a lot of black people as well. To a lot of black women, started chiming in with saying that, he was crazy, and black dudes in general saying, hey, he downgraded from going from Kayla Nicole to Taylor Swift. I guess they're talking about in terms of looks because we know it can't be in terms of actual money because, Taylor Swift was loaded. But, people felt like, hey, this Kayla Nicole woman, she's beautiful, she's this, she's that, or whatever. He kind of downgraded. So you started having people kind of getting shouting matches. You had people going back and forth, talking about this and that or whatever. And I don't know this woman personally. But it kind of got ugly and stuff like that with some of the stuff that was said, which is cool. So I can understand, her coming out to say something. But she penned a little letter. It was one of these black girl type letters or whatever. I guess it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and just touch up on it real quick. And apparently, she ain't the first piece of chocolate Travis Kelce had either. So he's not exactly neutered when it comes to dating black women. But I don't know if she thought she was gonna get the bag or whatnot, but apparently not. And some people thought the letter that she wrote was pretty asinine, or other people thought it gave them an internal strength and it made them feel better about themselves or whatever. So let me go ahead and touch up on this. This is from Atlanta Black Star. What's up, Nightfall? What's up, everybody over there in YouTube land? It says, don't let that crown tilt. Travis Kelce's ex, Kayla Nicole, pens open letter to black women after weeks of backlash over their past relationship. Kayla Nicole is taking the high road in her first public response to the onslaught of the backlash she has received since her ex-boyfriend, Travis Kelce reported budding romance with Taylor Swift became public. The sports presenter and Kansas City Chiefs star dated off and on for 5 years before going their separate ways in 2022. During their time together, Nicole was credited with upgrading the Ohio native style and gaining him entry to the colloquial cookout. It's all about this thing, people invited to the cookout. So you're invited to the cookout simply because you date a white cat, I guess. But okay, all right. Rumors that the 34-year-old had his eyes set on the era singer sparked in July when he attended her concert in Kansas City. Soon afterward, it was reported he gave her his phone number, and by September, she was spotted supporting Kelsey alongside his mother at the game. Since then, Nicole's Instagram comments have been in shambles. Some of the messages include people writing, "Does she need some attention? Because it's all on Taylor and Travis now. Laugh out loud. She can wear all the lingerie she wants, but he ain't coming back. You have a fake behind and you think you did something." Travis went from a hot girl who probably does OnlyFans for money to Taylor Swift. Come on, let's get real on his upgrade. Kayla Nicole posted a beautiful and transparent message to black women instead of feeding into the negativity that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's romance unnecessarily created for her, and she used her voice to uplift and connect with many women sharing similar experiences. On October 9th, she broke her silence in a video recorded open letter to black women. She began, "Dear black girl, they may call you a traitor for falling in love. They'll say you're too much, too provocative, too boisterous, too outspoken, and in the same breath tell you that you're not enough." Nicole listed the insults she received, including that she is not wholesome enough, intelligent enough, or successful enough. They'll say you deserve the backlash and embarrassment because of your blackness. You should have known better, said the influencer. The 31-year-old would go on to remind herself and other black girls that they are valued even when they try to quantify your character and touch your boundaries. "I know, girl, the rage of the world is loud, but black girl, your God is louder and your tribe is stronger," said Nicole before encouraging them to take up space. "You deserve protection and your feelings matter solely because you're a black girl." She received an outpouring of love on the post. "Love this. The classiest response to all this unnecessary hate she's been receiving lately," read a comment. "Class and grace personified," wrote another fan. "Kayla didn't deserve not one ounce of the hatred she's received in these recent weeks. Don't let that crown tilt," read another. Prior to dating Nicole, the football player was with Maya Benberry, a contestant on his e-dating show Catching Kelsey in 2016. The romance only lasted a few months, but like Nicole, she faced backlash for the interracial relationship. So yeah, he had him another chocolate sister. Ben Berry responded to the news of Kelsey and Swift dating by issuing a warning to the singer that he has an alleged past of cheating. On the other hand, Nicole already has plenty hopeful suitors like Rick Ross shooting their shot. So apparently Rick Ross is trying to get in where he fits in as well too. Allegedly. Let me just say that part real quick. Allegedly. So I want to touch up on the interracial. I want to use a couple examples, and we'll come back to that as well too. About the whole black girl thing and this and that or whatever. I don't know what people was talking about, but you know, to each is his own. I don't see where that was so powerful or so uplifting. Like, but okay, that's what you want to say. If you want to make it into this monumental and I get that the girl didn't feed into a lot of negative things that were said about her on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and stuff like that, but I don't see where this was so jaw-dropping and inspiring, and it just it just reshaped the world. And she's sitting up here and all this stuff, and now I mean your relationship with this man ain't got a damn thing to do with black girls. So all this pinning, this old black girl, you rally, you can, black girl. If you just stay focused, you can get away from all the negativity that they got, black girl. You can do it. Like, come on. Like it's nonsense. Trouble, go ahead before I go ahead and get to some of this other stuff. Go ahead. I see you got your head up.
Hey, Newstoter, shout out to the group, to the family. Hope everyone is doing well. That's so freaking hilarious. That's divest for Babel, and I don't understand none of that because I don't float that way. But so I don't have a lot of commentary on the interracial or her herself, she probably should have penned a letter to Taylor Swift's fans because that's who was coming for her neck. And anytime you date outside your race and you do it in a very public way, um, these are the things that you have to look forward to. So you should probably keep that in mind. Otherwise, try to keep it to yourself and do what you do. Do what you do. I don't have a dog in that fight, and I could care less. So, but it wasn't empowering. It wasn't anything special. It was her saving face, in my opinion. But I'm not a divester, so I don't understand their plight. So, with the Kayla Nicole thing, that was that was a black girl that did the whole. Because I was doing something when you was talking about that, but I think that's the young lady who came up missing, but not missing.
Was it Kayla Nicole? Was she missing that? Was she missing that one time?
Was that is Kayla Nicole the girl that got dumped or?
Yeah, she got dumped.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking about the other young sister who came up missing but didn't come up.
Oh, you talk about the other one. You talk about the Carly girl. Yeah, nah, Carly. Yeah, she got a little she got found guilty and everything else. So they even trying to give her a year in jail, I believe.
Trying to give her a year in jail and about $24,000
yeah.
fee. But so that's who I don't know why I brain farted on that one. But Jada Pinkett Smith. A lot of people villainize her and make her out to be the bad guy. But I must insist, nobody knows what type of relationship her and Will have behind the scenes because they've been so secretive, because there's just been mostly rumors and they haven't been really public about a lot of things. Jada more so because she's in the public eye when she had her show. But nobody knows what goes on in your home when it's just two of you. So people are always like, because Jada is more vocal than Will, oh, Jada is so toxic, but y'all don't know how toxic Will can be behind the scenes. We have this image of Will in our minds because, he started off on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's the funny kid, and he does, all of the movies he does. He's always, good guy, or, we just love us some Will. But and it's easy to hate one mate over the other. Also, I've been separated from my husband for a while, but we still operate as a family. So I kind of get Will and Jada's situation because it's like you love each other and you can separate from each other and live in separate households, but you don't like each other. And when you don't like each other and you're living together, married or not, that makes for a hellified situation. And so sometimes you have to go your separate ways in order to come back together. And when you're living in your separate ways, you're living your separate life. He wants to be a single man and figure himself out. You eventually come to want to be a single woman and figure yourself out. And if it's what's meant to be, will be in the end. So that's pretty much how I look at the Will and Jada. I don't think she's a toxic person. I just think that she's more vocal and public about what it is, that's going on with her. And if she chooses to speak, people are probably like, well, Will isn't saying anything. Why aren't you? Because she is she and Will is Will. So why demonize her for coming out and saying certain things, for clearing the air? So now we can go back to the time when she had her little entanglement with the young boy. She was vilified for that. So now we know that they were separated during that time frame. So does that change the opinion? Probably not when it comes to public opinion of your very personal shit. Because for a long time, there's been rumors floating around Hollywood that Will was bisexual and doing his own thing. Did that play a role in it? Does people pound on that? No, they don't. It's always the onus of the relationship failing or looking messed up is always generally on the woman if they like the man more. Now, if they like the woman more, then he becomes the villain. But we still don't know what's going on in their bedroom, in their home, what their conversations are like, what he did to piss her all the way off. People throwing Tupac in the air. It wasn't Jada that was talking about Tupac. It was the world. But then we look at it and say, oh my God, she threw Tupac up in Will's face. No, y'all did that. Y'all kept talking about Tupac. Jada didn't come. When Jada came out and said something about Tupac, it was after the fact. But it's like we have these images of this Will and Jada love in our mind, and then it's not working out. It's like if they shit don't work out, then oh my God, my shit's not gonna work out. If their shit didn't work out, and that's not the truth. So I really think the social media world is a bitch. I mean, social media is the real bitch. But yeah, that's all I have to say on that for the moment. I'll probably come back because I'm in the middle of doing something, so my mind isn't completely there. But that's all I have to say about that. You can be separated from your mate, and y'all still love each other, but maybe you don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? And you got to find that like again. And so Will at the award show screaming, hey, keep your name out my wife's mouth. That's still his wife. That's still that man's wife. She didn't stop being his wife, at least not on paper. That's still his wife. So yeah, what you say to her is gonna affect me. I mean, I can come out the box on my husband, but goddamn it, you might not be. You can't. And that's whether we together or whether we apart or whatever the situation is with us. That's mine right there. You mess with that, you messing with me. So I kind of still get it. Yeah, Jada may have been shocked when she was like, your wife, but wait a minute, hold up. That's because he still loves you. He might not like your ass, but he still loves you. And I've landed right there.
All right, Trouble. I don't know, because Jada, now the world talked about Tupac, but Jada, she throws Tupac name in there a lot as well, too. Now, I mean, Jada, she come out of the clear blue sky, throwing Tupac's name in there and posting pictures and stuff. And I get it, that was her boy, but at the same time, she does throw Tupac name in there. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't the daughter even have a letter? She wrote a letter to Tupac. Of course, Tupac was dead way before this little girl was ever born, talking about almost like wishing Tupac was her father was alive so her mother could be with him and stuff like that. So I don't know exactly what's what. I think too, Trouble, if it was Will and he was airing out some of the stuff that Jada was airing out, I think that you'd have a lot of people that'd be upset with him as well too. If we just being honest, if Will was saying the kind of stuff that Jada was saying, if Will was caught up in the entanglement, if a lot of this stuff that Jada's actually saying and doing, like you say, she's more vocal, she's more outward and this and that. And you're right, we did know Will before we knew Jada. I think if a lot of this stuff that Jada saying if it was reversed and Will was saying, I think a lot of people would have an issue with him as well too. If it was a female celebrity, if it was Aaliyah, take for example, and Aaliyah and Will grew up together, and they was close or whatever, and you start having some of this stuff that Will was constantly talking about Aaliyah being this great friend and lover to him, and how much he cared for him, and if Jaden had put out a letter saying, writing a love letter, or basically a letter to Aaliyah or whatever, saying that I wish Aaliyah was still alive so her and my father could be together and stuff like that, I think a lot of people would look at it a little bit different, because even Jada, and I get what you're saying about about being separated and stuff like that. So you're right, they're still legally married, and he has a right to defend his wife how he feels it. I thought the slap was, way over the top personally, but okay, he did it, but I didn't agree with the slap. But at the same time, in the article I just read, Jada also said, we went there as a family, and we were both living separate lives. We didn't go there as husband and wife. So even she's kind of saying that, hey, we didn't go there as husband and wife. We went there as family. And so I don't know. Jada just seems to me personally, it's mixed signals. And you're right. You never know exactly what's going on unless you under that same roof. Who knows? Who knows what it might be like to live with Will Smith himself as well too. So we can only assume or whatever. And with anything, like you say, social media, it's going to blow it up 10 times more. But you got Jada with the red table talks, and she's on there and she's airing out a lot of situations and stuff like that. And sometimes it's like the old folks say, sometimes things are better left unsaid or left in the house as well too. But when you start opening up like that and saying a bunch of different things, people start assuming a whole bunch of stuff as well too. So I get what you're saying. It just, I don't know. Like I said, I think too that having this interview coming up. Having this interview coming up, and she's got a book that's getting ready to drop as well too. I think it's a good move PR wise. And does Will have a movie coming out soon or something? Somebody said he had a movie coming out.
He has 3 movies coming up.
Okay.
He got another Bad Boys 4. He got some movie called Fast and Loose, and he's got I Am Legend Part 2 coming out.
Jesus Christ, another Bad Boy movie finna come out.
Yeah, I ain't watched the last one, but
I hadn't watched a whole Bad Boy movie since the second one. Like, good Lord. It might be time.
That third one was fire, bro. That third Bad Boys was fire.
It might be time to go ahead and close out the Bad Boy franchise, but okay. We'll give it. I see Aunt Lai, she got her hand up here. Aunt Lai, what's up? I saw you was putting a lot of thumbs down, so what's up?
Peace, Black Power, reparations. I'm going to say I agree 100,000s, 1,500s, and millions and billions of percent with what Trevor was saying, because I feel like people be so hard on Jada and she don't do nothing but drink water and exfoliate. Jada Pinkett Smith don't do nothing but mind her own business. People saying what she's putting words in her mouth, making up theories about everything that's going on, and Jada don't be saying or doing nothing. And when she defends herself after being slandered and dragged through the mill, that's a problem. When she speaks up for herself. And my thing is and I just feel like, we talk about how Black woman is the most unprotected. This is a prime example. Jada Pinkett Smith don't bother nobody. They blame her. They talking about she embarrassing Will, she doing this, she doing that. But this man who's 50 years old, older than her, he worth so much money, I can't even count the amount of money. But she is responsible for everything under the sun. Oh, his movie flopped. Oh, he did this. Oh, Will Smith is a grown ass man. He walk up on stage and snap somebody, she should have said. It's her fault that he did what he did. This man is worth $100 million. Now, I'm trying to get my husband to help my son take out the recyclables, and he only worth 6 figures. So if you think Will Smith doing half the stuff, he ain't doing it. Will Smith, this man literally wrote a book and said in his book how he was thinking about killing his own dad. And y'all sitting here telling me, Jada is, oh my gosh, she's the worst thing since, she's horrible. She dragging him through the mud. She dragging him through the mud? I think this is where it shows where people just not that bright. And when somebody talk, they don't listen. I mean, I follow Jada. I love Jada Pinkett Smith since Lena James. That is my chick, ride or die. I feel the way she feel about Tupac. Her childhood friend, was senselessly murdered. And people are mad that she's still mourning him. How the fuck? Are you dumb? She is mourning her friend who was senselessly murdered.
Let's chill on the cursing tonight, too, though. Let's chill on the cursing. But go ahead.
Regardless of him being Tupac, that's her friend. He was murdered. Somebody took his life. And y'all sitting here saying, well, she keep bringing him up. Are you kidding me? Now y'all telling her how to grieve her friend. It's because she a Black woman and they got a problem with everything she doing because Jada don't bother nobody. And even though, my mom is mad at her for her messing with that dude, I just honestly, I hope he disappeared. I hope don't nothing good happen to him because he one of those dudes who finally got him some and started singing like Toni Braxton. And I'll say, okay, that was bad character. One flaw. But people really need to leave her alone. Because at the end of the day, she don't bother nobody. Will Smith is worth, and not only can he have any woman he's had them. He done dogged and did stuff, but because his dirt is not out there, and trust and believe that is Will. He's from Philadelphia, baby. He done had him some. And he even said it in the interview. He said, I'm going to get you back. And she was like, no, I think you. He said, yeah, you right. People don't listen to the first thing he said. People don't listen to the interviews. Jada Pinkett don't do nothing but mind her business. This dude came out and literally said, Will Smith gave me permission and lied, and the tabloids ran with it because we got the like she said, with trouble, she sung it. Social media, you dealing with people that's not that bright. People take these little headlines, these clickbaits, and they had to clear up the mess that he put out there. And because she told the truth, she didn't lie. She could have ignored it. But she said what it was. She was in an entanglement. Will didn't get no permission. Then they start saying she cheated on her husband. Like, you motherfuckers are dumb. Because at the end of the day, I heard what she said, and I heard what he said, and I didn't hear no cheat in the vocabulary. Now everybody's talking about how she done messed up this man's career, and she done did. It's like she done did everything. Man, listen, I don't understand, and I understand that, and I think I know what it is. It's because she is so great. And everybody see her life, they focus on her. Because ain't no way y'all giving her that much power from a man who y'all just said in one sentence that he was famous but for her. Now she got all that, but the coochie that good, that she got all that power now? And they ain't even been together in 7 years and he knocking dudes out. Like, I just feel like people just want to blame her because she a black woman. When I tell you I love Jada, I love with a capital love, Jada Pinkett. And again, I'm not saying some of the things she did wasn't whatever, but when you were put in her situation, do you understand her grandmother died? Will Smith thought he was being romantic. He found an interview with her grandmother, with pictures of her grandmother, and forced Jada Pinkett to see for the first time her grandmother who passed away saying things and doing things, and it was emotionally trauma for her. And he got mad at her talking about something.
So you're saying Will Smith traumatized Jada Pinkett is what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, as a man, he thinking he doing something, but he don't understand the psychological abuse that he was doing to her. And again, he's worth $100.
Let me just get this straight. You're saying that Will Smith is he psychologically abused his wife, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I heard that. Go on.
Yes. He planned something for her. And what he planned for her was videotapes and pictures of her passed away grandmother. Things that she has never seen. So it was at a birthday party. And she was emotional about it. And he got mad at her because he didn't feel like, he $100, he Will Smith. She didn't appreciate it, but he wasn't thinking about and this is his words, that he took accountability. And he said that he did to his wife. So trust and believe, Larisha is not saying this. Will Smith said this. How he was wrong, how he forced her and got mad at her for that, because he thought in his head, I'm doing this for you. Even him naming the lake that he said, this is Lake Jada. She didn't even want to live there. But Will Smith, $100 million, this is where you live it. Even with the work and the jobs, she don't turn down jobs because the kids, but he wanted to still, like, that's what I'm saying. When they have interviews, I don't think people really listen to what he said, because he said that he psychologically and emotionally abused her and was forcing her to do things, but he was looking at it like, I'm the man, I'm Will Smith, I'm doing this for you. So I don't want you to say that I'm saying that. Will Smith said that, but nobody sees that. Will Smith is, I don't want to say that he's a very controlling man. This man is worth $100 million. Who do you think Hollywood told him no? Name one person that's telling the rapper from Philadelphia who makes $100, it's a movie blockbuster, who telling him no? Ain't nobody telling him no. When he get home with Jada, she gonna do what he say, do how she want to do it. Then Jada Pinkett is about that life. She from Baltimore.
So you're saying that Will Smith runs over Jada Pinkett Smith is what you're saying?
I'm saying, and all men run over women. If you
so now all men run over women is what you're saying?
I'm saying you said it.
No, you said it. I didn't say it. You said it. No, you said it. That's what you just said. You said you just said it. That's why I'm asking you the question. You said it. I didn't say it. You said it. You said that basically Will does whatever he wants to. He comes home, he runs her over, and I asked you that. I say, so Will Smith runs Jada Pinkett over, and you said, well, all men run women over. So that's why I asked you. I said, you said that.
$100 million. Even Will Smith said it. When she said she wanted to do this for Christmas, he didn't want to do that for Christmas. He did whatever he wanted. He was Will Smith. She said, well, no, I don't think you should do this movie, or I don't think you should. He did. This is his words. You saying it's my words. No, I listened to him when he talked and how he said he treated his wife. I listened to the words that she said and what he said. And he said that he runs over her. He said that he didn't listen to her. Go back to the interviews. He said those things, because I'm saying I get it when she was saying, and she said, you know what, she didn't want to, and they broke up because he got mad when they broke up. He said, I dumped you. Yes, he dumped her because he kept saying in his head, I'm doing things for you. And as a man, in his head, he wasn't doing what she wanted him to do. He did for her what in his head, he said that. So I don't want you to say that I'm saying these things. I'm saying Will Smith said he's the $1 million man. He wanted to name the lake after her, even though she didn't want to live there. He wanted to do certain things. This is what Will Smith said. And he got mad because he looked at her like, you're not grateful, but he wasn't really doing it for her. Will Smith said, I was doing it for my ego.
So all of the problems, so all of the problems in the relationship are basically Will Smith's doing, is what you're saying.
Will Smith said that.
So it seems like it's could it be that Will Smith is with anything that goes wrong, he's stepping up and saying, you know what, I could have done more. This is my fault or whatever. Does she do the same thing as well too? I'm asking you a question. Does she do the same thing as well too? She's like, well, you know, I could have done more. I could have did this different. This is my fault. I messed up here. It seems like Will is saying he's taking all of the actual the losses. I'm saying, but does she? Because you are. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You said that you're a huge Jada Pinkett fan. So just by human nature, it seems that. Just by human nature, it seems like you are somewhat biased in favor of Jada Pinkett, because I saw the comments you saying that basically she could do no wrong. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, would you say that you're somewhat biased as well too in terms of the?
No, I'm not. I'm a realist.
But this is what I'm saying. You're saying you're a realist, but I'm asking you this question. You're pointing out all of the faults and all of the failures that Will Smith. Now, here's the thing too. Now, and let's be honest here. Will Smith is like you say, he's $100 million man, and he's worth more than $100 million. Will Smith is probably worth a couple $100 million at the very least. If you got a husband that's worth that kind of, if you have a husband that's worth that kind of money and stuff like that, wouldn't it be naturally? Wouldn't we naturally assume that the woman would stay home and probably take care of the kids and stuff like that while he was out working? Huh?
Just like a man.
So now we're saying that a man should pay most of the bills and stuff like that. So when the man is actually financially able to do this and provide for his family and provide a great life, you're saying that there's something wrong with that.
Who said this? I didn't say something wrong with that.
Well, you said that we're assuming. So I'm saying because listen, you've given me all of the negative stuff that Will Smith has done. Okay, I'm saying, okay, fine. Will Smith has messed up a bunch of times and this and that. Will Smith has messed up. I'm saying, is there anything in the relationship with any fault that Jada Pinkett has done?
In a relationship, nobody is perfect. What I'm saying is Jada Pinkett Smith in the public eye is dragged through the mud as if she is the fault for everything in her marriage. Will Smith, a 50-something-year-old man, walked up on stage with what was supposed to be the biggest night of his life, and he smacked somebody. And people are saying, is Jada Pinkett Smith?
But a lot of people classify Will Smith as being a simp, as being a dumbass, and everything else when he did that. A lot of people didn't take up for what Will Smith did that night. A lot of people did. A lot of people thought that he was an idiot for going up there doing that.
But what I'm saying is it had nothing to do with her. Whatever you thought about Will Smith and Will Smith's actions, it was the fact that people were actually saying, and people are saying, she ruined his career, that she did X, Y, and Z. And I don't understand how he is number one. Like people were saying, he was famous before she was famous. He is the $1 million man, but everything is her fault. It doesn't even make sense. And what I'm saying is, nobody in a relationship is perfect. But when you look at what people are saying, how everything is her fault, it's like she doesn't even have as much power as she can't even speak on her behalf without being dragged through the mud, that she is embarrassing him. Now she's just telling her truth about what's going on with her and her life, and she is dragged through the mud because she is bringing him down. And people saying, oh well, she shouldn't say this and she shouldn't say that. She has a right to say whatever she want to say, but because she's quote unquote married to the $1 million man, she can't even give her opinion about her life and about what's going on. This woman, her friend was senselessly murdered. Her childhood friend. And I'm thinking about the childhood.
You talking about Tupac? You talking about almost 30 years ago, right?
It doesn't matter. If a sense is murder, it's a sense is murder.
But it's still. I'm not making light. I'm not making light of his death. But I'm saying at the same time, you're talking about a long, long time ago as well too. So I'm saying the pain can't be as bad as it was, say, almost 30 years ago.
You judging her grief, and I'm not going to be in her shoes. I don't know. My brother was senselessly murdered 2 years ago. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody how they mourn and how they grieve their loved one. But I do know from the trauma of her childhood, her mother being addicted to drugs, her father not being in her life, her going through the traumatic things that she was going through, and this person, Tupac, was there for her and helped her get through a traumatic time in her life, and then he was senselessly murdered. Now people are telling her, well, boo, it's been 30 years, get over it. Like, what the fuck? When he was the only person there for her. When he made sure that she ate at night because her parents didn't do it. But now they're telling her, well, boo, that was 30 years ago. You need to get over it. At the end of the day, you grieve how you grieve. And can't nobody tell anybody to put a time stamp on how long you're going to grieve your loved one. Because the trauma that she's been through, her mother was a heroin addict. Since she was like, and I think people don't understand that, and I feel like they supposed, because she Jada Pinkett, because she's so gorgeous, because she's a black woman, she can't mess up and she can't make any mistakes. And as a person who had some of the same background as her, she's gonna make mistakes. But for her to be judged on the mistakes of other people is ridiculous. And I'm not saying that she is perfect, but I'm saying that the way society as a whole is dogging her out like she really did. Like, she is not, I'm not saying she's not even all that powerful, but if he was so famous before her and he's been in it longer than her, how can she mess up his career because he got on stage and smacked somebody? At the end of the day, because she's a black woman, she's been dragged through the mud. And I'm not saying she's perfect, because she's not. But the way people talk about everything she did and who she is as a person, like, where happened to grace and mercy? And why can't Jada get any grace from anybody? Because Will is being forgiven and getting grace, but he the one smacked the dude. But no, it's her fault. Now she putting her truth out.
I'm trying to figure this out, because Will was the one that got the big blowback when this whole thing happened. You know, people could say this and that or whatever, but it was Will whose career, it was on his biggest night. Will was the one that got the biggest blowback. Now, you got some people saying, well, you know, she calls this or she calls that, but most people put because Jada didn't walk up there and slap Chris Rock. It was Will Smith. It was Will Smith that was laid up there crying and sobbing and stuff like that, and people trying to figure out what in the world is wrong with this dude right here. So it was Will Smith that went ahead and was the one that got suspended from coming to the Academy Awards and everything else as well too. So I'm just trying to figure out, you're sitting there, you're saying because she's a black woman, that she's the one that's got the onus on her, that she's the one that's been attacked and dogged and stuff like that, when Will Smith is the one that lost movie roles, when Will Smith was the one that got suspended, and rightfully so, because Will Smith was a dodo who went up there and slapped somebody over a joke. So I'm just trying to figure out how, and now let's be honest, Jada's been the mouthpiece. Jada's been the one in front of the camera. Jada ain't never seen a microphone that she didn't like. She's the one constantly talking and this and that or whatever. So I can see if you had both of them up there equally talking about their relationship, but it's been pretty one-sided, I think you would say. And also, I'm asking you this again because you pointed out all of the flaws that Will Smith had with the relationship. I'm gonna ask you this again. Are there any flaws that you can point to, like you did with Will Smith, about Jada Pinkett in the relationship, what she did wrong? Because you haven't had any shortage of what Will Smith did wrong, the trauma she went through, him doing this when her grandmother passed away. You've given numerous examples. Are there any examples that Jada Pinkett Smith did that caused her husband any embarrassment, any pain, any suffering, anything like that? Because you said a relationship is two ways, but I'm hearing it all one way. So is there anything that she did in the relationship, the marriage, anything that caused any pain or suffering and embarrassment for her husband? Is anything that Jada Pinkett, because it sounds like you got her on the pedestal as well too. Because like I just say, Will Smith was a dodo who went up there and slapped a person. Will Smith was the one that got lost movie roles. Will Smith has been the butt of jokes for the past year or so or whatever. You always say, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Everybody, that's become a popular meme and everything else. Will Smith is the idiot because Will, like you said, he was a big star. Nobody was there to see Jada Pinkett. They was there to see Will Smith. It was supposed to be his crowning moment. He stole the night away from Samuel L. Jackson getting his shine on. He stole the night away from all the black people that put together that Academy Awards show. He stole the shine away from the Williams sisters. He stole the shine away from Richard Williams when the movie was about him that had one. So he stole the shine away from a lot of people. He got hit with the actual backlash. So I'm saying, is there anything that you can tell us in here, because you seem to have, you seem to have a pretty good idea of the relationship and the pain and the suffering, and like you say, the psychological damage he's done to her and the battered woman syndrome. So I'm asking you, is there anything that she's done to him?
I'm pretty sure it has been, but since it's a relationship.
But you can name all of the things that he's done to her, but you can't name anything that she's done to him.
I can name all the things that Will Smith said and Jada Pinkett said was the issue.
But can you name any? Is there any issues that she caused? I'm saying, is there anything?
No, she's pretty perfect.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I know you gonna say that.
That's what I thought. But you came up, but that's the energy you came up here with, Aunt Lie. You saying that everything. You saying that
the fact that we even have the space is saying like Jada Pinkett, like she did something wrong by writing.
Jada Pinkett was the one that has got an interview tomorrow night. Jada Pinkett is the one that's got a memoir. Jada Pinkett is the one that said we've been separated for 7 years. So should the space not say Jada Pinkett?
No, but I'm saying people talk about her like she is the worst thing since sliced bread, and I just don't see it. She is a villain in everybody's movie of such a horrible wife and a horrible person and an embarrassment. And it's like, what's the embarrassment? Can't nobody really name anything she did wrong except stuff that if she and her husband were separated and she saw somebody else, oh, she wrong for that. Like, you can't really think about the things that she did wrong. Can't nobody really say, oh, well, Will Smith, she got on the stage. Will Smith got on the stage and it was her fault. Can't nobody really say anything what Jada did wrong. Because when she was saying, the slow boy August, she wasn't with it. But yet people were saying how she's an adulterer and all this stuff. If they had the agreement that they ain't together in a relationship, and he got there, I don't care how sad people quote unquote claim he looked. He said, we ain't together. I dumped her. It ain't cheating. So how is it at the same time people are saying she cheated on him and she embarrassed him? How she embarrassed him by being with somebody if they're not together? No, I'm not going to sit here and say that she didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying from the narrative that everybody's putting out of the things that she did wrong, nobody is saying what she actually did that was wrong. There's no factual information and saying she cheated on Will. No, she didn't. They wasn't together. He said they wasn't together, and she was seeing old boy. Will said, I didn't give him permission. It wasn't my place to give permission. Me and her wasn't together. How that comes Jada cheating? So when you asking me, do I know of anything negative that she did? There's nothing. Will didn't say anything. Will only said the fact that she held him accountable for his BS, and he didn't like it. He did say that. He did say the old girl was holding him accountable, and he didn't like it. But as far as that, it was nothing. There was no critiques about Jada Pinkett that Will said he had a problem with. Will said that he had to work on a lot of things, and he had to do certain things. And you know the
reason why he said that, Aunt Lie. Because if he had said something different, if he had started pointing the finger at his wife, if he had started saying, well, my wife is this, my wife is that, my wife did this or did that, he's going to get hit with an avalanche. So it makes no sense for him to come out and start saying, well, she was a fault. She did this, she did that. He's looking at himself and he probably had a lot of stuff that he needed to correct. That's true. I'm asking you, though, since you seem to be an expert on the relationship, what did she do that could have caused them to separate, or was it just all him?
She beautiful, nothing.
I'm not saying that she couldn't do anything. Yeah, that's what you're not understanding. I am not saying that Jada Pinkett you didn't do this or you didn't do that.
Actually, in so many words, you are saying that. You said that from the time you have said that. Whether you know that or not, you have said that. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you have said that.
I'm a comedian. I got a show November 19th.
Hey.
So I got jokes for days. But what I'm saying as far as like even Will Smith didn't come up with reasons. Will Smith didn't say, okay, Jada, you had to work on this. He didn't say that. So I'm giving you the information from their discussion and their relationship of what Will Smith and Jada said were the issues. And baby girl, she ain't had none. You can't get mad at me because I listened to the interviews and everything.
You're right. She's pure. You're right. She's pure. She's pure as a driven snow. She's pure as a driven snow. You're right. She had no issue. She had no faults. We know it normally takes two to tangle, but you're saying in this particular, it was a one man waltz. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, you kind of are. But I'm gonna come. Hey, I'm gonna come back. We got hands up, so I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come.
All I'm gonna say is when you sleep with the enemy, you get what you get. So her and her white daddy doing whatever, that's their business. Cause she slept with the enemy. And I'm gonna dock my boat, fold my chair, and y'all better leave Jada alone.
Okay, peace to you. Let me go ahead and get the truth power. Truth to power. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Damn, bro, you kind of said a lot what I wanted to say as far as like Jada fucked up when she put all their business out. Like,
Truth, try not to curse. Try not, because they hitting me on YouTube. So try not to curse.
oh my bad. So Jada is getting a lot of backlashes because you see her out front putting the business out there. And to be honest, now that we just now finding out they ain't been together the last 7 years, that whole Oscar stuff is really looked the stage. That was the narrative when it first happened. Like, it looked the stage. But if they wasn't together, I don't think, Will would have did that, just because. I think that shit was staged. Now, I think their whole goddamn relationship for the last 7 years has been pretty much staged. All this drama and all that stuff. But what I don't like is when no accountability is being had. Like, Jada played the damn part. Oh, my bad, I'm messing again. Jada played the part. She did something, so just hold her accountable a little bit. Like, it's kind of frustrating when you asking her a simple question and there's a lot of deflection, like, we don't really know what exactly happened in their personal relationship, why they actually separated at the end of the day. All we know is what we see. And we see Jada going on interview after interview saying stuff like Will doesn't please her in the bedroom. All type of other stuff. Like, it's like, God damn, could you just shut up, keep y'all business, in the house like regular couples do? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, I don't know what caused them to separate, but I do know after, they separated, Jada ain't stopped putting their business out there. And so, rightfully so, people was going to judge her because they looking at Will. Will's smart enough to keep his mouth closed and keep a clean image. So we don't know all the dirt he's really doing. You know what I'm saying? You can just speculate. He's not doing interviews. He's not getting caught up out in the public cheating and none of that stuff. So he's looking like the good guy that's being done wrong by a woman that can't keep her mouth closed. Excuse me. And it would be nice if we can hear a woman just hold her accountable for once instead of like making her out to be some victim that she's not. Ain't nobody telling her to do all these interviews and expose that thing like that. Like, come on now. And when he slapped Chris Rock, whether it was staged or not, we didn't know they was broken up, right? So wasn't it the narrative that he was protecting his wife? Like, come on now. She gave that man a look like she was disturbed, and he did what he felt like he should have did. So at the end of the day, like, both or not, I mean, at the time, he looked like the knight in shining armor, protecting the black woman, right? Because black men don't protect black women. That's the narrative, right? So at the end of the day, you can't have it both ways. I mean, that's all I really wanted to say, because you said a lot what I wanted to say. So I'm going to end with that.
Appreciate that. We go ahead and get to we're gonna get to Reraw, and then I'm gonna touch up on these other stories for you guys as well too, because I know the Jada thing, we're gonna come back to that as well too. But I gotta go ahead and hit up on some of these black celebrities and the some of the stuff they've been talking about interracial dating as well too. But we're gonna come back on the Jada thing as well too. But Reraw, go ahead. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter, DJ, what's up, family? Newstoter family. So, with the Jada thing, I am not a pick-me in any way, shape, or form, okay? But I am not happy with Jada Pinkett Smith. And maybe it's because she is the first one who broke the silence, and now that I'm understanding that they weren't together with the whole Augusta thing, then why say anything? Why have a red table about it? You guys weren't together, but Will Smith still slapped Chris Rock. Okay, I understand that part. I get that. Because that's still his girl. She still needs to be protected. He's the one, he's the one who's supposed to do it. But for me, I just think that Jada is if she could move it around some, but she just sticks on her relationship with Will. Maybe if she had a garden or maybe like a clothing line or something, she wouldn't have to solely focus on her relationship with Will. Because to me, she is kind of painting Will in a bad light, talking about he doesn't satisfy her sexually. Come on, all of us have pictures of Will Smith with a shirt off on our I know I do anyway, on my wall. And so it's like when you're hearing his wife say that he's not satisfying her, women, we're like, okay, let's turn our off. I do feel like she threw Will Smith under the bus a little bit. But I mean, I still love Jada Pinkett, you know what I'm saying? I love Jada Pinkett. I still love Will. That's their business. That's what they do. Do I think that Jada was 100% great? No. Do I think Will was 100% great? No. I think that it's a relationship, and when you put it online, you're gonna get the backlash of that. And as far as the girl who came out with that message to the black woman, that wasn't for me. That wasn't for me. I feel like that was for somebody else because what she said didn't make any sense. It didn't sit well with me. It kind of felt like she wanted us to have a pity party with her, and I'm not pitying in no party with you. So I'll land there. But you guys, take it easy on Jada. I get it, but I mean, she just needs to move around. Switch some subjects, talk about something else because I'm tired of it. Okay, they look like a great couple, and now all of that is going to be ruined. Like they were a couple that I looked up to. Okay, I looked up to them, and now they're just ruining it. And I'm sorry, it's pissing me off because I thought that black love was real and that they had it. So I'll land there. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Rerod. Thank you. No, we're not. And I'm trying to say that it would be both of their fault if they're separated. Two people play a part in it. So I'm not saying that Will Smith is innocent by any means, anything like that. But we can't sit up here and say, well, everybody they're just running Jada down. Poor Jada. It's all and that's pretty much what Aunt Live was saying. That hey, it was all Will's fault. Jada didn't have anything to do with it. Yeah, Will Smith is probably in the media when he does get interviewed. I'm sure he's saying, hey, you know what? I played a part in it. I made mistakes. This is what I did. This and that or whatever. While the other person ain't saying anything. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what was her part. Did she say that, hey, did she say take accountability? Say, well, I messed up in this part too. I did this, I did that. And like Truth was saying, and like he was saying, like, look, if y'all got, and people always say they had an open relationship. Let's be for real. If you got an open relationship and you're doing your thing, you don't need to tell the world about it. Go ahead. If you enjoying whatever you enjoy, go ahead and enjoy it. If that's between you and your husband, that's what y'all choose to do, whatever. Will had a certain persona. He kept his mouth closed or whatever. He may be the biggest jerk behind the scenes. For all we know, he could be the biggest jerk in the world. But in front of that camera, he keeps it like, hey, it's just me and her, whatever. It's just me and my wife. And, and people kind of was like, to a certain degree, if you want to know something, you just put that microphone in her mouth and she just nonstop. She's going to tell you it all. She with the red table talk and this and that and everything else as well, too. And like Nightfall said on YouTube, if that was reversed and it was a black table talk and you had black man up there and he discussed all the issues with Jada. If he was saying, what, my wife ain't satisfying me. She just as dry as a Sahara desert and stuff like that. People be like, you have a bunch of, whoa, wait a minute. Look at him. I can't believe he's saying this. I thought he was a good guy. He's an a-hole. He's this and that or whatever. So it's kind of like she gets a pass for certain things. She has a show and whatnot. And then you got your daughter. I don't care what anybody says. This girl was not even born, wasn't even thought of when Tupac was alive. She writes a letter to him talking about she wished Tupac was around so she could save her mom and stuff like that. Now, how in the hell is that supposed to make this man feel right here? The daughter that he raised, he gave life to, he's taking care of, he's given every advantage in the world. Honestly, who would put that in that girl's head to that point like that? Okay? Who's putting that in that girl's head about Tupac like that? She don't know a damn thing about Tupac other than what she saw on a video, a YouTube video, or a music video. Who's saying all of this stuff here?
Grandma Smith, that's who. Grandma Jada.
I mean, that's ridiculous. As a man, that's my daughter. I'm straightening her ass out. And I didn't mean to curse either, Sophie. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm straightening her out. I'm like, look here, girl, don't you ever get your behind online and say no garbage like that again. And I'm gonna straighten you out in front of your mammy too. If she putting that up in your head to say some garbage like that as well too. So yeah, all people talk about all of the fault with Jada and stuff. No, a lot of people hold a lot of fault with Will Smith here. Let's be for real. A lot of people consider Will weak and soft and everything else. Let's just be honest right here. And that's not Jada Pickett's fault. That's his fault for allowing it. Like Aunt Lai say, he's the $100 or $200 million man. He's the one. He's the one with the name. You know, Will Smith is a box office star. Jada Pickett would have still been doing B movies and everything else as well too. He's a name, and for her to sit up there and run down the brand like that or whatever, for him to allow it, it's 110% his fault for allowing it for all these years. Because he should have checked her long time ago. And if them kids were sitting up there from Jaden crazy behind to that girl sitting up there cutting her hair all off when she was about 10 years old, that's on him as a daddy. Because that oldest kid he got from the first wife, that boy ain't doing all of that stuff. It's these last two, if we want to be perfectly honest. So what's the common denominator in that one? Because the oldest one, that oldest boy Trey, I don't see him doing all this other kind of stuff like that. I mean, so we really want to be real. And like I say, whatever happens with him and Jada, hey, keep it behind closed doors. We don't care. We don't need to know. Who cares? I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. You know, whatever y'all doing, if y'all together, you're not together, we don't know. We saw you at the award show. I didn't even know till the next day that he had jaw checked Chris Rock. I didn't even know. I woke up next day, that thing was all over the news. Oh yeah, Chris Rock got the bejeezy slapped out of him by Will Smith. I'm like, what? I'm like, when the hell? Because I don't even watch the Academy Awards. I'm like, well, when on earth did this happen? Oh, I'm like,
You know what, Newstoter?
uh-huh.
His first wife didn't come out and say anything like that either. So you got the first wife, you got the first son, and then they're not right to tell all about this shit about how
You low, Rerah. Can you hear me? Cause you low. Can you hear me? You might be driving.
I can hear you now.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just saying, the first wife, she didn't do none of that either. The first son, he didn't do none of that. So it couldn't have been that bad. I mean, I don't know. You know, just thinking about it with his first wife and his first son, who are actually kind of normal. You know, and they didn't have anything bad to say after the divorce. I mean, sometimes it's kind of like, because Jada had to sit down when she got with Will, maybe this is a way for her to kind of stay relevant and keep her name out there. You know, people are doing way, way worse things than this, but that's my opinion.
And like I say, in trouble, I'm gonna kick it to you. And like I say, it's not to put all this stuff on Jada Pickett, because like I say, Will Smith is a man. Will Smith, nobody told him to go up on, like I said, and I told him, like, nobody told him to go up on stage and slap Chris Rock. Nobody told him to take all of this stuff. He's taking it, or he's allowed it, or whatever. The first time your wife gets on national TV and talk about you not satisfying her, you know, that's a problem there. You know, if I'm not satisfying you, then you need to tell me that. You don't need to go ahead. We supposed to go to some kind of counselor or something like that, the doctor or whatever. You don't get on TV and say that. So, you know, like I say, I'm not putting that all on Jada. He went along and he's gone along for the ride, and he hadn't said anything. He's act like he couldn't open his mouth. It's like when I was a kid, I remember the Barbara Walters interview, and this is an interview that everybody thought really sunk Mike Tyson when he was with Robin Givens. You know, it was like he was doped up that night doing the interview, because Robin Givens was just going in and talking about, oh, how he treats me. He's a manic depression and this and that. And Mike Tyson just sat on that on that. And I was in elementary school, but all the older people was talking about. Mike Tyson just sat in that interview and said like he was doped up, like he couldn't say anything, like he couldn't get his mouth open. He just smiled or whatever. While this woman was saying that he was terrorizing me, he was afraid of me and this and that or whatever. Well, a couple years later, that interview helped solve the case for him and that rape conviction that he had. That interview sunk his ship. It was the same thing. He just sat there and he just smiled, and Robin Givens she just went in and just said all how unfair her life she was and this and that or whatever. So, you know, if the men aren't going to say anything or do anything, hey, that's on them. Trouble, you got to go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, so you have to remember when Will and the first wife got together, that was pre-internet, so pre-social media, and so the first wife and son wouldn't come out and say anything of that nature because him and Jada grew up in the age of the internet. Him and Jada also got together at the age of 22. They were in their 20s when they first got together. So they've been a long time. Jada never said he didn't sexually stimulate her. That's not what she said. That's what social media said. What Jada was addressing was in the beginning of their relationship that they didn't have the proper communication with each other. But in her mind, what she was actually saying was, in her mind, she felt like, if you love me, you'll know how to please me. If you love me, I don't have to tell you, left, right, nigga, left, right, straight down the middle. She wouldn't have to give him directions on where to get that spot at. But what she said was she had to take accountability for that as well, because she wasn't communicating with him to let him know, I don't like it when you do this. I don't like it when you do that. So she admitted basically that they played an equal part in not satisfying each other. And that's when they first got together. Again, Jada was a talk show host. And when you're a talk show host, you kind of use yourself as the meter for where you're taking the conversation to. When I'm having a conversation with somebody and we're talking about relationships, I'm going to mention me and my husband because that's the relationship I'm in. I'm not in a relationship with Willie Bobo down the road. So I can't comment on the relationship I have with Willie Bobo down the road because that's not who I'm in a conversation with. So people saying, well, she should have kept her relationship out of it. I agree to a degree that there are certain things that she probably should have been a little bit anticipating the social media backlash on, but again, trying to be honest within her truth, she didn't, and said certain things that social media folks took and ran with. I'm never going to say that Jada is without any responsibility, because when you're in a relationship, and again, you're in a long-term relationship, your goals sometimes change, and sometimes they don't align with each other after a certain amount of years, and that comes with not having good communication and being on the same page. And when it comes to issues within the marriage, there's no such thing as it's all this one person's fault. It's always a middle ground where we both did some things to the other person that didn't benefit our relationship. Now maybe you take 60% of the blame and I take 40% of it, but at the end of the day, we both played a role in why our relationship stands the way where it's at right now. And I'm the type of person, when I look at my relationship with my husband, I have to admit all of my faults. I have no choice but to, because I got to look in the person in the mirror. And when I'm looking in that mirror, I can't blame him for all the things that went wrong between us. I have to put the blame on myself, because there's a lot of things that personally you could have and should have done better. There's a lot of things that that within yourself you need to work on to make better for that person, because like I said, over years you both of you start to change. Your bodies start to change, your looks start to change, your mind starts to change, your priorities, things you prioritize, it changes. But you have to be in sync, and it's so easy to get out of sync with each other, but they're in the public eye, and that's the biggest difference. And when she's a talk show host and he's not, it's easy for him, and I can see where Will has been in the game for a long time. So when it comes to this whole PR thing and what to say and what not to say, and how to address things publicly, he's more well-educated on that. And maybe Jada isn't the type of person who likes to listen when he's telling her, okay, these are certain things that you can't say, because she's so rooted in wanting to tell her truths. So, I mean, I'm that's just where I'm at. I don't like to play the blame game, because again, we're not in their home. As far as the daughter goes, I'm like you, Newstoter. I'd had to snatch a little to the side, like keep those thoughts to yourself. There's some things that's better left unsaid, so that the media doesn't get a hold of it and drag it through, because we'll put our own little indentation on what that person actually said, just like people saying, well, Jada said that he didn't sexually satisfy her. That's not what she said. That's not what she said at all. But that's the narrative that's been spun. And once you tell a lie so long, the lie becomes a better talking point than the actual truth does. The daughter, as far as the daughter is concerned, there's no telling what type of relationship her and her dad has for her to be able to think in her mind it was okay to pen that letter and then make that shit public. You know, that's something that she should have never made public. She should have kept it to herself. And I agree, BJ, it got to be the mama too. Well, I ain't gonna say it got to be the mama because it could have been whatever relationship her and her daddy have with each other. But when you got another person living in your home family like that, your mama, your cousins, your whoever, that influence cannot be that great on the children at some times. And sometimes that's where they get their little talking points from. So I'll end there. But thank you, Newstoter, for allowing me to speak again.
All right. Thank you, Trouble Guys. Up in the Jumbotron, we got the YouTube channel up in there. Find the YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Also, for those that can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter. We also have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. We have the Funded Socially up in the Jumbotron as well, too, guys. So definitely go ahead and sign up for that as well, too. Go over to Black majority states social media site, Funded Socially, and go ahead and create an account today. Definitely go ahead and create an account today. And also, like I say, support us on Cash App. Yesterday, we didn't have anybody. We had a room of over 200 people, and I asked for a $1 donation, and we did not get $1 donation. So tonight, let's see if we can at least get a $1 donation in the actual room. The room is not as big as it was yesterday. The room yesterday ended up having like 200 and some odd people live. This is a smaller room tonight, but let's see if we can get at least 1 or 2 people to donate $1, not $20, not $30, not $40, not $50, but at least $1 just to show appreciation for the platform, which is more than just a Twitter space or a YouTube channel. It is the largest Black American-owned media curation platform today in America. And I'm going to say it again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you do not have a Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. I'm gonna go ahead and touch up on this this article real quick. What I want to touch up on the interracial dating thing with Black celebrities, and I'm gonna first touch up on NFL Hall of Famer Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens, better known as T.O., Hall of Fame receiver with the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Eagles. He's retired now. He had a reality show at one time too, but last week, Terrell Owens, the week before, he was sitting up here saying that, you know, he's dark-skinned and, you know, Black women, they were pretty much biased against him for being dark-skinned or whatever, not being attractive enough. So that's why he ended up basically dating white women. And, of course, social media responded in the only way social media could respond. So I'm going to go ahead and touch up on this real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and I'll get to you, Paris, after I touch up on this article. It says, this is from Atlanta Black Star. It says Terrell Owens claims he gravitated towards dating white women because Black women tease him for being dark-skinned. Yeah, sounds like nonsense, but former NFL player Terrell Owens recently had a rather interesting discussion about interracial dating with Chad Ochocinco Johnson on Instagram Live. Owens shared that he was pushed into the arms of white women by Black women who rejected him because of his looks. My first experiences with Black women growing up wasn't so good. When I started dating white girls, my first experience was when I went to college. I tried to date some Black girls when I was in college. They did not like me. I was skinny. I was scrawny, he said to Johnson. The former 49 player claimed that he used to get teased between high school and college for being dark-skinned. There was a lot of self-esteem issues. I'm being dead honest. So when I got my opportunity, my first experience with a white girl, it was like, okay, it wasn't bad. But T.O. insists that he didn't mean he only gravitated towards white women, nor did he deter him from still dating or pursuing Black girls. My thing now is because I know there's a stigma that stereotypical of athletes, you know, once you go off and make money and date the opposite color, the opposite race. But for me, where I am, it's not even about color. It's not even about race, he explained. For me, it's about somebody that I have some chemistry with and good energy, and I get a good vibe with. That's where I'm from. Owens believes anyone who claims that looks and appearance don't matter, they are telling a lie. I attempted to date Black girls when I was younger. I wasn't as handsome as I am now, he said. His remarks quickly sparked outrage on social media, with some claiming he's making excuses for dating white women. Why you date white girls? You should never, what he says, why you date white girls, you should never have anything to do with black women. Just say it's your preference and slide. Boy, you just tricked your money off on white women. Now it's gone. You're gonna gaslight black women. He says a lot of nothing just to validate his preference. He's lying. The one he liked may not have liked him back, but I don't believe not one black girl liked him. One person who believes Owens wrote white girls will line up to date the awkward black guy that isn't what is considered handsome, fine, and cute. Terrell Owens, who had a TV show where he was dating and crying over a white woman, said Max Kellerman is blacker than Stephen A. Smith. Between 2009 and 2011, the father of four had a reality show called The T.O. Show, which aired for 3 seasons. The show documented his off-the-field success as he navigated finding a new team to play for, moved to Los Angeles to dive into acting, and his relationship with his ex, Carrie Klinkenborg. Owens, who was previously married for 3 days to a white woman named Rachel Snyder, which ended in 2015. He was also romantically tied to a few actresses and reality stars such as Days of Our Lives star Felicia Terrell, Real Chance of Love reality star Kip Force, also known as the Blonde Baller, and Candace Cabrera from Flavor of Love. As far as notable black actresses, it's been reported that he's dated Sanaa Lathan, Lisa Leslie, and Vivica A. Fox. Even though the 49-year-old likes himself and many women like his looks now, the former football star is clear that not all white women like him. In 2022, Owens took to social media to call out a Karen who was reportedly harassing him while he was going to his mailbox. He shared a video of his interaction with a white woman who falsely accused him of speeding and running a stop sign, which he disputed. He insists there was no stop sign and that he wasn't speeding. Owens also denied the woman's claim that he approached her aggressively, referring to her as a Karen. The matter escalated after the Karen made racially charged remarks despite efforts by a police officer to defuse the argument. You're a black man approaching a white woman, she said while sobbing in a high-pitched tone. You put your car in park and you came after me. In disbelief, the retired baller said, here she is crying. There's Karen. I swear to God, I have never been in a situation like this. He later added, I've seen it, but this is firsthand. Perhaps black women made him feel uncomfortable in the past, but now it seems that white women and their tears might have trumped those teasing honey dips from school. I'm going to touch up on this one more article, and then I'm going to get to you, Paris. This one is also from Atlanta Black Star. This is about K. Michelle. It said, and the title is Trying It Out. K. Michelle sparks debate online after declaring her love for white men. Vocalist K. Michelle is promoting the release of her new album, I'm the Problem, as she continues to unpack her bold and honest truth. She was most recently featured as a guest on Revolt TV's Black Girl Stuff, where she spoke about relationships and dating outside of her race, which sparked outrage online. During the interview, one of the 4 hosts asked why she views herself as a problem, which K. Michelle believed came from setting boundaries or saying no if it doesn't feel right. I'm going to be the problem because I'm going to be the solution for myself, the outspoken artist continued. You're not going to make me do nothing that I'm going to have to deal with at home and I dealt with in reality TV. But when it comes to men and dating, the former Love and Hip Hop cast member said, relationships, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing. I'm sick of it. I'm sick. I'm not doing relationships at all. Another host, Bree Renee, then chimed in, reminding K. Michelle that reminding K. Michelle that she said she would date a white man. I love a white man, said Drake, would love me recording artist. I ain't never had a white man, Renee responded. Well, you need to try it out, the former Miss Family replied before going into a rant that ruffled more than a few feathers online. Let me tell you this, and people are going to be so angry with me and this sentiment, and I don't give a F. I will be your problem, K. Michelle said, slowly opening up a Pandora's box. The R&B singer, who has now grounded herself in country music, said it's important to love who loves you regardless of race. She says she's spoken to a lot of black women who exclusively date within their race, despite how heartbroken they have become. She understands as a black woman herself, but she believes there are more eligible bachelors of other races waiting to love up on a black woman. I just think black women, just people you have to date with your soul meat, she added. K. Michelle remarks did not go over well with social media users who blasted her in the comments after Revolt posted a clip from the interview on Instagram. Is she trying to say that white men don't cheat or won't break your heart? I understand the love who loves you part, but how does the only white man part fit? I would just have to die alone because I only love black men. It's not that easy. I'm attracted to black men. I'm attracted to only men. If you get it, you get it. Don't fold. Keep black love alive. Some people understood where she was coming from. I'm adopting this. Love who loves you. Hell, I was open to everything else. I've been saying this. You got to love who loves you. This is not the first time that K. Michelle has caused an uproar after expressing her love for white men. In 2015, she declared, I love rock, country, men who wear tight jeans and have foreign accents. I love a handsome Caucasian man. I'm really not into black men right now. They can date outside their race, so can I. Fast forward to 2021 after a man was caught lusting over the Can't Raise a Man singer. One person tweeted that K. Michelle tweet doesn't do you any favors, especially given she dissed black men for white males a few years back, which is cool since majority of the rappers said she stank. I don't know about all that, but okay. While many people are focusing on race, K. Michelle's had a history of just male bashing. During a 2019 interview with Atlanta radio station V103, The Morning Culture, she discussed her toxic and physical abusive relationship with former producer Mickey Wright. She's spoken about the relationship previously on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but while speaking with the radio host, she made a blanket statement that many believe paints her feelings about the opposite sex across the board. I don't think men are good people, she said. The reason for that is like for men to do things they consider small in the flesh of like cheating, that's going to destroy your partner, but you do it anyway. That's not a mistake. We watch the same story over and over again. Despite the backlash she received, K. Michelle always stands 10 toes down on anything she says. Let me go ahead, Paris. I know you were waiting patiently, so let me go ahead and get to you. But real quick, let me give a shout out to let me give a.
How are you, Newstoter?
I'm doing good. Let me give a shout out real quick to Zachary and Trayvon and DJ as well too. Thank you guys for your contribution on Cash App. Go ahead, Paris. You got it.
No, I just wanted to make a comment about the Jada Pinkett, whatever situation. I just want to say that, well, it's a it's a question I'm putting out there, and I just want to say, I just want to ask, how do we know that they weren't happy living separate lives? How do we know that they weren't happy swinging? How do we know they weren't happy seeing other people? Some people are happy living their life in an unconventional way, and maybe it's just her time to speak. I don't think it's a big deal. Maybe she just wanted to draw some attention to herself at this point. But I also know that it's not a secret. I know this, that it's not a secret about how they also have been living their lives. So I think, kudos to her. Some people are happy with chicken, some people are happy with steak. And that's all I wanted to say. Good for her and whatever. Thank you.
All right, all right. Thank you, Paris. Shout out to Nightfall too. Thank you for your contribution. DJ, I know you got your hand up, and anybody that want to come up and speak as well too, because like I say, you can definitely go back to the Jada thing. You can talk about Kayla Nicole, and we just added in the actual interracial thing as well too. We got a perspective. We got two different perspectives. One from a black man, one from a black woman about interracial dating as well too. So feel free to jump in the conversation and stir it up. DJ, what's up? You got it.
Hey, Kevin Sanders is right. That's it. Good night, y'all.
Okay.
God damn it, DJ.
I mean,
I only did that because I knew you was coming next. Sister, go ahead, though. Sister, rerock.
It's the mall. It's the mall.
Oh God, I knew you were gonna say that. As far as Terrell Owens, like, come on, it's given like the whole African booty scratcher reason why I hate black people. Cause everybody is a little chocolatier. You know what I'm saying? I got teased too, but it never deterred me or black men from wanting to date. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, everybody's not going to be your type. You're not going to be everybody's type. But to just say that no black women liked him, I think that's a cop out. Tall, dark, and handsome. That is exactly what he was in high school. So I just don't get it. A football player. So he's probably playing football in high school too? Yes. Okay. We like football players. This whole thing with the white women.
We losing you, Sister Rerod. We losing you. Can you hear me?
You know,
Yeah, we losing. You done hit the matrix on us. Drop down and come back up. Okay. Yeah, you hit the matrix on us. Yeah, with the Terrell thing, I'm gonna have to call BS too because I'm dark skinned and like you say, everybody got teas and stuff growing up and stuff like that, but I didn't have no problems getting a girlfriend. Hell, a lot of brown skin and light skinned girls like me as well too. So I mean, let's let's keeping it how it is, like that whole dark. Nah. I can't. I think sometimes people just use that because hey, you wanted to actually be with white women or whatever. You want to date white women, which is your prerogative if that's what you want to do. But all this thing there, I mean, for one, they're more dark men than anybody else, so they're gonna always find women. It's just they're more darker brothers than light skinned brothers. So they're more darker brothers than even brown skin. So there's gonna always be women out there because they outnumber. They're gonna be picked up. So I think with Terrell, he just wanted to go ahead and date outside his race, and that's the perfect formula for trying to go ahead and trying to just mix it in there. Rerod, you back? Can you let me hear you now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. And so I just kind of wanted to go into, like these white women are actually targeting black men who are, professional basketball players, NFL players, and they're not being called gold diggers the way that black women, who want to do maybe that doesn't work at McDonald's are called gold diggers. And as far as Kay Michelle, she out of pocket. Oh my God, I can't even believe that we're talking about Kay Michelle. I really, like, she could have kept all that to herself. I hope her album does well, but I won't be buying it. I just can't deal with self-hate. So I'll end there. Thank you for allowing me to talk.
That's why I intentionally put K Michelle and T.O.'s story here together with the interracial thing. So, you can look at both a perspective from a black man and a black woman as well, too. So, people want to say, well, he's talking about just the black women and dating or whatever. No, we want to go ahead. And also the T.O. thing, because that came out, like I said, the last week or the week before. That I particularly like that story because that was the old added the old excuse of why I want to date outside my race because I'm too dark and nobody likes me. So, you hear either I'm too dark or they consider me ugly. And all of a sudden, these you couldn't date a white woman until you was actually in college where they thought, hey, okay, this Negro may be close to actually going pro here and making some money. Like it'd be one thing that if you were in middle school or high school and you were dating white girls the whole time, but you don't get your first white girlfriend until you get to college. Don't that seem a little bit fishy there? It's not until you get into college that you actually start. It's not like you had a long history of dating white girls. Like, okay, well, you started when you was in middle school. You started when you was in high school. No, you started when you were in college. And college is when these white girls magically found you attractive. Now, let's be for real. I don't know if any of you guys seen Terrell Owens. This guy lives in the gym right here. I mean, he is a physical beast. Most sisters, they see Terrell is swole. They see him, they ain't gonna have no issue getting with this brother right here. This joker don't have an ounce of fat on him. I mean, he is a physical specimen. Even at the age, Terrell got to be about 50, he's still a physical specimen, even to this day. He looks like he can still play professional football. So if you see this joker, and I'm sure he had to be put together in high school as well too. He may have been slim or whatever before he started hitting the weights or whatever. But most of these girls and stuff in high school, if they would have saw him, they were going to get with him. Let's be for real. The same way men look at women with nice bodies and say, well, she got a nice body, but her face ain't all that. Women do the same thing as well too. And even they say, well, his face ain't all that, but his body, they still get with you. So let's stop the nonsense here. I'm sure Terrell played basketball and football and probably ran track when he was in high school too. This guy is one of the best athletes to ever play in football, one of the best wide receivers of all time. So I just find that like I said, I just find that excuse. We've heard it too many times. I heard, I was. They said I was black. They said I was ugly. We heard this before, man. We heard this from a number of people. The K Michelle thing, it seemed like even though she's doing her thing with the white, it seemed like she got some issue with men in general as well too. She was pretty much saying that all men are trash, pretty much. So I didn't feel bad that the sister had an experience, quote unquote, with the guy she said she was with, but she pretty much trashed all men. Of course, she didn't hesitate trashing black men exactly. So in her ire, it was mainly directed towards black men, but then she did go ahead and say all men in general. So let me go ahead and get it to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to call Cap on that too. Like, sometimes it's not about complexion; it's about your personality, brother. It had nothing to do with your complexion because he's a relatively good-looking guy, body banging. It's probably you're probably an asshole. And that's more or less what it is. K Michelle, you kind of was passed around a little bit in the industry. Everybody know what your Twizzler smell like, and so it doesn't, from what the rumors is, it doesn't have the best smell. So, it's probably best you go to the white boys who don't know that it smells, quite fishy, So these people that always try to come out and throw black people under the bus to make themselves appealing to white folks, you really just look like a clown, not only to us but the white people too. And if they'll have you, more power to you. And, like you said, if you got a banging body, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, a lot of people will look over the face, because from what I understand, I don't know from personal experience, but I heard ugly people got the best feeling, because they're ugly as hell, so they got to bring their A game. You know what I'm saying? Just like crazy people. I heard that crazy people got some good snatch too. You know what I'm saying? Because you crazy, motherfucker, you ain't got no choice but to bring it.
Oh yeah, them crazy girls, they definitely like.
So that's all I came to say. But otherwise, I see Nightfall drop is pretty much snapping over here on the YouTube. So I'm interested to see what he got to say. What you got to say, Nightfall?
Oh, Nightfall don't be care. Like he be going in it. I was waiting for him to raise his hand. I'm like, I see him in the speaking section. I was just waiting for him to raise his hand because he be going off on YouTube, boy. Nightfall, you want to speak tonight, man?
Yes, sir. I've just been sitting here waiting patiently, listening to everybody. What's going on? Peace and reparations to everyone in the chat. First of all, let's just go ahead and get this whole interracial thing out the way. I'm just going to throw them all in the same pocket as far as I'm concerned. Stop the damn cap. That's the first thing I got to say. Look, I've been a black man for a very, 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 very long time. We're not traded for nothing. And I've dated black girls. I've looked at white girls, and I'm going to just tell you the same thing. If that's what you want to do, just do it. Nobody in the black community gives a damn. Just don't sit here throwing it up in our face and expecting us to sit here and pat you on the back and there when everything goes left. Because 9 times out of 10 it does. And the same thing goes with the Kayla girl. Look, you were all too happy to sit here and live the bedwench's fantasy while, white boy was sitting up here on your shoulder and on your arm, and you guys were going on trips and going on dates. But now that the stuff's over and he sat up here and picked up crazy twizzle stick over here, keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit up here and put out these little half-assed, I hate black men daggone letters after you sat there and been thrown off to the curb. You had 5 years to get old boy. If you wanted him, you'd have got him. Apparently you didn't, or you weren't good enough for him. Take your L and go home. As far as T.O. is concerned, brothers, please stop. You went to daggone Austin P. It's a 50-50 daggone ratio of black to white at that damn college. If you had wanted a black girl, you'd have gotten one. You apparently had a couple, seeing as how you got some kids, unless you had them all with the white women. So, I mean, again, just say that's what you want and leave it there. And as far as K. Michelle, sweetie, the problem is you, okay? You got the perfect title for your album. The problem is you. If you've been passed around from one man to another man to the next man, and all of them ain't shit, you're the only common denominator among them. So take your L and go sit down.
Yes.
Next, as far as I'm concerned, can we please stop the cap with this whole Jada and Will thing? Jada got 90% of the daggone problem with this. Here's the reason why. Whether she likes Will, loves Will, or hates his damn guts, Will is still her husband. And in public, you are supposed to protect your daggone husband. Just like all of you women sit up there talking about, oh, nobody protects black women. Nobody protects black women. We all out here by ourselves. We got to be strong and independent and manly because the men ain't doing this. Why the hell do you expect some man to sit up there and protect you after you run his name in the ground? After you sit up here and turn his kids against him? After you sit up here and open up some daggone YouTube daggone thing where you sit here and talk about him bad? And more importantly, as far as the whole Tupac thing is, let him go. It's been 30 years. You've got a husband. If your husband was sitting up there talking about some strange chick that he sat there and banged in the 5th grade and he mourned because you drowned, but yet he's laying to you every day, laying next to you every night, how in the heck would you feel? So can we please stop this mess? Jada's toxic, and Jada needs to be by herself. Will needs to grow a daggone couple of pair of balls, pay the price, and get the hell away from him before he does something stupid to himself. And just call it a day. Black folk, we got to get together on this in one way, shape, form, or another. Or otherwise, we ain't going nowhere. Ain't gonna be no reparations. Ain't gonna be no loving. Ain't gonna be no black community until we get this shit together amongst ourselves. That's all I got to say. I'll land.
All right. Like I said, I know Nightfall. He's always over there in YouTube. He hangs out in YouTube. He used to be in the Spaces more, but he hangs out in YouTube so he could just go ahead and blow it up on the comment section over there. So he's definitely he definitely stays on that keyboard. So shout out to Nightfall as well too. What's up with some other people up in the space? I see Black Majority Space. I see Dark and Lovely up in here. Shout out to that sister as well. I see my girl Tata. Everybody up in the space. My boy Ray. I know Ray, you probably on them books and stuff like that. I just figured, guys, that tonight we was gonna go ahead. I want to go ahead and touch up on something a little bit different because we do hit the news and the politics. Even though we did have we had the space about the on Monday, the space about the microphone documentary coming out, and definitely that space was a good space, and the actual video on YouTube, it did a lot of views and stuff over there as well too. So definitely shout out to that, and shout out to everybody that comes to the spaces and support the spaces as well too. We'll let anybody that wants to speak real quick get it in, and if not, we'll go ahead and we'll close it out. I try to get the people up here to speak, but I definitely wouldn't mind having some people come up here. If not, then we'll shut it down for the night. Rerod, so you came back up here. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I did. So it's 2023, and I could care less about who people love or whatever. I would prefer that we do continue to have black babies. Can I jump in them being in an interracial relationship? It's not that. And I agree with what the last brother said. We do have to get this shit together because there will be no more black babies if we don't. Okay. And I think that it is important to see us, and have us still a part of the community because chocolate people breed chocolate people. If there's no more chocolate people, you're not going to get no chocolate people. So I do think that, it's imperative for us to figure out what's going on as far as this. I don't know, like they keep saying there's a gender war, but it's just in my daily life, it doesn't show up. It only shows up for me on social media. But they really are making it seem like it's a big thing. And then this Terrell Owens and K. Michelle shit, like they're helping push the narrative ultimately. And I mean, we can't get our celebrities. We can't get them in check, clearly. They're going to do what they do. They're going to say what they want to say. They're going to come and they're going to shame us when we don't do what they want us to do, but we can't reel them in at all. We can't reel them in at all. Even with all of the social media comments and stuff like that, I don't think that's going to reel them off from speaking illy about, the black community or this gender war. So with the celebrities, even Jada and Will, it's kind of like we're on the outside looking in, and we can't stop them. We can't stop the machine, but they want to pull on us when something bad happens to them. Like, to, the Karen with Terrell, yeah, she was very hostile. But you would think, he'd be able to, rectify it and make it right. But this white girl probably didn't know who he was. She didn't want his money. She wasn't interested. And so she treated him like a black man, how most black men are treated. And so, yeah, he got his nigga wake-up call right there. And so, but no, we do need to reel it in. And I think that we need to just stop worrying about what these celebrities are talking about, because they're not really talking about anything that's benefiting us. They just seem really divisive right now. I'm going on a block. I've been blocking every celebrity that shows up on my timeline. I think everybody else should too, because what they're saying and how they're depicting us in the media is not the grassroots. That's not normal. It's not what we see on an everyday basis. And I'll end there. Thank you for allowing me to speak again, Newstoter.
All right. Thank you, Rera. Let me see. Do we got anybody else that want to speak? Truth to power. I know you came back up here, so you want to go ahead and get it in. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, real quick. I want to touch on the interracial dating thing because I think it's bigger than the incels or the what they call the passport bros and getting to bed with you. Like, I think they got their own issues, particularly the incels. I think they were just rejected by like a certain type of sister. Like they wasn't cool enough or man enough to get like the pretty girl in the hood. And, that low key when you get rejected by them, it can kind of hurt. You gotta have tough skin and be able to move on. I think they scared them guys and made them go, across seas or whatever. Like, just killed their whole confidence. But I think it's deeper than that though. Like, I think we got an issue with we're a little more proud of our interracial babies. Like, when you go to a family reunion, just peep out the family. Peep out how grandma treat the lighter skinned mixed kids. It's like they parade them around a little more. I don't know. It's like it's real weird like that, but it's deeper than just the bed wenches and the celebrities dating outside the race. Like, we got that shit ingrained in regular black folks. My bad for cussing. My bad, but
I know everybody's still slipping up, but if y'all can remember, try not to though. But
I'm gonna get it together, brother. But I really just wanted to bring up that it's deeper than just the passport bros and like the K Michelle's or whatever. Like, it's within our own families to keep it a buck. Like man, I seen it like growing up. Like, dang, like grandma, like she like the mix, because I'm in LA, bro. It's a lot of mixed blacks and like Latinos or whatever. So like you got a lot of that going on, and I swear to God, bro, like you can really see the difference on how the kids are treated. It's crazy, but it's real. So we gotta deal with that. We gotta get over that. I think it's getting better though, because this generation, the millennials and the ones previous, I forgot the name of their generation. Like, we kind of like got like a lot of pride now. You see the sisters, a lot more sisters rocking natural hair. We not really dealing with the colorism as much. So we improving, we making progress, but that stuff is still deeply ingrained, and it's where we think it's kind of better, lighter and better. So you still got sisters who want to date outside the races so their children can have a certain texture of hair. We still low key are still dealing with that to a degree. So but just to deal with T.O., man, like y'all already touched on, he capped, bro. Like he had to have been getting played by sisters or whatever. He liked what he liked, and when everybody not smart, some people open up their mouth and it's just BS comes out. He probably didn't even really mean to say it like that at the time. I don't know, but man, yeah, I think y'all already touched on that. Like, this dude he just say you like white girls, bro. And the only thing, like the brother said, you can date whoever you want to date, bro. Just stop putting down our people when you do it. Like, the bad witches do it and the incels do it. They love talking down on our women, when they popping up their little females from across the seas or whatever. It's like, come on, bro, just go do what you do, bro. It's all for attention, though, to a lot of people, because they know it's gonna trigger us. We can't act like we don't get triggered when we see that too. I think if we low key ignore them and just brushed it off to the side, didn't pay no attention, it probably wouldn't even matter. But they know when they say that stuff, They're gonna get a gang of people in they mentions and they comments, you know, and they probably really doing it just for that too on some level. So, you know, I just wanted to touch on that.
All right, appreciate that, Truth. You've been on point tonight as well, too, guys. Like I say, definitely go ahead up in there, and we got a couple polls up in the jumbotron. We got the poll on Jada Pickett, and we got the poll on interracial dating. So definitely go ahead and vote in those polls. Go ahead and vote, and also retweet it out. This week we had a number of polls going on, and some of them had a lot of votes and stuff like that as well, too. So definitely, I think that one from the other day about should black people worry themselves about Israel or something. I think they had like 600 some odd votes in there. So definitely go ahead, guys, in the polls, and even put a couple on YouTube as well too in the Newstoter community. So definitely go ahead and participate in the actual polls as well, guys. Definitely it definitely helps. I see we got Ray up here, we got Aunt Lai up here, BMO Codified come up here. BMO, if you want to speak, just go ahead and raise your hands. Definitely, guys, and like I said, for those that can support on Cash App, $sign Newstoter. I'm gonna get to Ray, and then I'm gonna get to B more. I'm gonna get to you, Aunt Lai, since they haven't had a chance to speak as well. So Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
What's up?
Will y'all please catch me up a little bit? I have an exam tomorrow, so I know about everything except for Kayla Nicole. What's going on with her?
Oh Lord, this the one that had the one that was dating Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Yeah.
So bedwin stuff. Okay. So Jada Pinkett. With the whole thing with Jada Pinkett, I'll just say this, man. I feel like they're both wrong. The reason why I say that, obviously, Jada is just constantly going out saying all this craziness and stuff, and at some point, Will, you're letting her do this. I mean, at some point, you just have to be like, you know what, you're just not going to keep disrespecting. That could be my wife, and she's still laying up here, I'm laying in the bed next to her at night, and she think about somebody from 25 years ago. That's just, stuff like that you just can't stand for. So at some point, it becomes Will's fault, too, because if you don't check it, then that means you're condoning it to a certain degree. You got to say something at some point. Interracial dating, I guess y'all talk about what's his name, Terrell Owens or whatever.
Yeah, we were talking about Terrell Owens and K Michelle as well.
So when they take all of the money, or they, God forbid, I'm not wishing this, but if you end up dead in the ditch somewhere, or you need help, don't come calling us. That's how I look at it. If you're gonna go over to that side, hey, cool, go do you. You grown, long as you ain't hurt nobody, do you. But don't come to us when shit goes south. I think that's fair. I'll speak for myself. I've said this before. I only love black women. That's my thing. And I said this before. If you ever see me with my arms around a white woman, just know I'm holding it for the police.
All right. Thank you, Brother Ray. Appreciate that. Let me go ahead and get to be more codified. Like I say, guys, we trying to cut back on the cursing because we be getting hit on YouTube because you guys know we be streaming. So everybody, please try to refrain from cursing as much as possible. Be more codified. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's going on, Newstoter?
What's going on, Brother Maku? How you doing, man?
Man, right poorly in this system of racism, white supremacy. I will say this. First of all, shout out to every victim of racism in the space. Thanks for letting me speak. I want to say this to the title, Jada Pickett. I agree with you, Newstoter. Jada has been let off the hook, so to speak. I hate using metaphors, but I'll use that metaphor for this, for this topic. She's was let off the hook real easy. I felt like her and Will, like Brother Ray said, both of their behaviors were inappropriate to the collective and to them individually. And as far as interracial dating, I haven't been in the space the whole time, but I haven't heard anyone mention the offspring. The rule is, uh, as far as race classification goes, and having intercourse with a white person in the system of racism, white supremacy, the joke is on the offspring. I think we tend to forget that when non-white men and women interact and have relations with white men and women, as long as the system of racism exists. We cannot forget that the evidence shows that it confuses everything as far as race classification. And if anyone, like I assume all of us knows what racism, white supremacy is, and how it works from our elders and what we have read, if we have read books, the ISIS papers and the compensatory code concept, we understand that racism, white supremacy survives solely off of confusion. So if we tend to always constantly, full-fledged, 20 toes down, ignore that as long as the system of racism, white supremacy exists, if we try to have sex with these white people, the biggest joke is on the offspring. Our offspring suffer the most. And that's for the ones that are not so-called, and I got my air quotation fingers up, mixed, and for the ones that are, both parents are non-white, black victims of racism, white supremacy. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation because it is a serious component and one that is always missed. And when it's missed, it tends to draw circular conversations and confusion, such as gender warring and arguments amongst victims of racism, white supremacy, males and females, So I just wanted to add that. I'll land there. Thanks for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you, Brother Moku. Let me go ahead and get to Aunt Lai. Aunt Lai, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace, Black Power, and reparations. I just want to say what you had said about me. You ain't had said nothing when I had left because I had a business call. I want to clear up. I am not taking up for Jada Pinkett. I'm just simply pointing out the fact how everybody in society looks at it like she said something bad to her husband when nobody's looking at what's actually being said. Somebody said, oh, she did an interview and said that her husband didn't satisfy her. She never said that. If you would have watched the interview, because I'm like, dang, Jada said, I watched the interview, and I'm like, how did they get that she said we'll never satisfy her when those words never came out of her mouth? What happens with Jada, she'll say something, or people will construe things and make things up in their head, and they say, and she's saying this or she's saying that, and oh, she crying for 30 years. Somebody who was senselessly murdered, I will hope, God forbid, somebody will miss me if you know what I mean. Like, I don't understand why is it her mourning the loss of somebody an issue, or her saying words and the words she say is not what, like, I saw the interview. She never said didn't satisfy her. It never came out of her mouth. But now you have this narrative. Oh, she embarrassed her husband. She said he don't satisfy her, and people want to run with this narrative about her. And I'm not a man hater. Oh, there it goes, her again. I'm not a man hater where I have an issue with men. I'm a realist. And when people want to bash Jada like she is the end all be all, and they got this child, they saying she the reason for them fighting in Palestine right now. They're saying it was Jada because what she said was going to happen, that's why they fighting. She don't have that much power. A relationship takes two, and I'm not saying that she doesn't have some fault, and everybody has fault in their relationship, but that's their business. But from what they put out, they didn't really put out, Will and Jada, in their words, what the issues that she had. She didn't like the being controlled, and she didn't like the way she was being treated, which everybody has a right to. So all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, people put a lot of fault on her because she's a woman, and nobody is faulting him when he wholeheartedly going up and cold cocking people, and it's her fault that she messed up his career. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say that she's perfect and she's God gift. No, I'm not gonna say that at all. But at the end of the day, it takes two to tango, and Will Smith is more responsible for Will Smith than Jada Pinkett Smith is responsible for him. And I love me some Jada. Second of all, in regards to this whole, y'all already know, I think if you're interracial, you shouldn't even get reparations because the white part exit out, so you don't get nothing. But I really feel like when they date them, like Ray said, they can't come to us for help or anything like that. And a lot of times, I believe I'm with Dr. Umar on what he said as far as relationships, and like I stand on what he said was wholeheartedly true. And marriage is a business agreement, and it's just certain things you shouldn't do. And when you choose to do those things, you can't get mad when you look like the fool that you are because you get played. Like, now that you got played, who you coming to? We supposed to care that you got played by old ugly boy, and he ugly anyway. And I don't understand why would somebody want to be with somebody who ancestors would have sold them. Like, that don't even make sense to me. So the whole mediocre, and now the it's just wrong to me. I don't like it. I ain't with it. I ain't for it. You do whatever you want to do, but ain't no way somebody would have sold me and you would have me sitting here swapping spit. It's just, And then, and if you look at the genes, even the genes and the DNA, when we talk about the metal and how much millions of dollars is worth, and how people go get our organs, and how Black people be 107 years old looking like they two, and a lot of them hate our race, but they will procreate because they want their kids to have certain hair, certain features, because they know that they're not genetically superior, and they will only do it for selfish reasons, and people be stupid enough to fall for that. And it's at the end of the day, it's like they say everybody can't go. Like, everybody can't get on the boat and survive. You got to leave some people, and sometimes it has to be like that. The line is drawn in the sand. And I'm going to dock my boat and fold my chair. I'm going to give a shout out to Jada Pinkett, who's the queen mother of the earth.
She's no queen, love. She's no queen.
Queen mother of the earth. What he said, you beautiful black queen mother. Yeah, that's what she is.
She's no queen, love. But thank you once again for coming up here, Aunt Lie.
Newstoter.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna outline. What did Jada say? You said that she didn't say about the sex life.
Oh, please don't get Aunt Lie started, because we're gonna be closing the space out in a second. So don't leave.
I'm gonna do 2 seconds. All she said is when you're in a relationship and after being married with somebody, so you got to do things to spice things up. That's what she said. Literally, when you've been with somebody for so long or whatever, you're in a marriage, you just want to do different things to spice things. I'm like, well, what did she say? He don't satisfy her. That's what she said.
Alrighty. Thank you, Aunt Lie. Let me go ahead, Ray. We're gonna go ahead and shorten it up, get a couple minutes in, because we're gonna be closing the space out. See, Black majority states up here, so if you want to speak Black, just go ahead and raise your hand. But we'll keep it about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, and then because we're gonna be closing the space out in a little bit.
I'm gonna keep it very quick. No, I was just thinking about, this just needs to be accountability on both sides. Like I said before, I think both of them are wrong. There just needs to be some type of accountability. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, and this was Will Smith out here, sleeping with one of Willow's friends and doing half the things that was being done, honestly, people be saying, "Oh, Will's a dog, Will's this, Will's that." I'm not. That's just the truth. So I really feel like there just needs to be accountability on both sides. Both sides are wrong because honestly, like I said, at some point, Will needs to just, hey, if you're going to keep going out here just talking crazy and doing all these interviews, putting our business out, they probably don't need to be together. And, allegedly they've been separated for 7 years anyway. But that's kind of weird because if that's the case, why did they go to that red table and sit down to have that whole discussion if they've been separated anyway? That doesn't really make sense to me. But I'll land there.
All right. Thanks, Ray. Real quick, I'm gonna let Black be the last speaker. Real quick, B more, go ahead, and we're gonna get to Black.
I also wanted to add that we should also, as far as the interracial dating goes, we should always be suspicious when we see that, that when I always see an interracial dating situation, I always am suspicious of the white person perfecting their skills of practicing racism, white supremacy on the black person that they're so-called dating. Um, it's a form of intel gathering, and I forgot to add that to it being the biggest joke on the offspring as well. So yeah, thanks for letting me speak. I'll land there.
All right. Black, I'm gonna go ahead and let you be the last speaker. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Oh, we can barely hear you. No, no, you low. Drop down and come right back up if you can. Yeah, he's pretty low. So he'll be right back up. So hopefully he comes back up. The volume should be back up because he was really, really low there. Let's see. Oh, see if Black can get ready. Okay, let me check real quick.
Hey, I just want to say, what do Pan Africans stand in the interracial dating market?
I have.
Can I just
Hold on. Let Black go ahead and speak. Go ahead, Black.
Okay, tell me if this is any better.
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so man, I enjoyed the space. Entertainment topics are always entertaining, of course. I'm a Will Smith fan, always have been, always will be. I'm also a Jada Smith fan as well. And there's a quote that she has that is something that when I first saw it, I was like really impressed with her as a woman, as a black man. But this is the quote. She said, "I've always told Will, you can do whatever you want as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and be okay. Because at the end of the day, Will is his own man." As a man who definitely has an affinity for women and multiple women at that, a woman making a statement such as that, I would spend the rest of my life with a woman that had that mentality. So for me, with that part alone and everything I've seen her share her life with him and his oldest son's mother, and everything that I've seen from that perspective, I just appreciate that mentality in a woman. So that's all I wanted to add it to. And then also, Jason's lyric, man. Ooh, I'm going to get it out there. So I'll end with that.
All right. Thank you, Black. Thank you. On that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and get ready to end the space. DJ, is there something you want to add real quick before we end it?
Nah, go ahead, close it, bro.
Okay, guys.
Because this shit ain't going to stop this conversation.
All right. On that note, we appreciate everybody coming up in the space tonight, guys. So thank you all. We'll probably be back definitely Monday. So definitely stay tuned. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as always, guys. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you then. Peace. All right, everybody on YouTube, guys. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for supporting. As always, we'll see you guys back next Monday. Make sure you click those notifications to stay up to date.